In the Bible, there's a true story about a woman named Naomi. Naomi was very sad because her husband and her 2 sons had died in the land of Moab where they were living. Naomi was left with the wives of her 2 sons. One was named Orpah and the other was named Ruth. At first, Naomi was very sad. She didn't know what to do. When she heard that God was providing food and help for her people in the land of Judah, she decided to go back to where she was from so she could have a better life. When Orpah and Ruth wanted to go with Naomi, she insisted they stay in Moab, the land they were from. This made the girls very sad. They cried, saying, "We want to go back to your people with you." But Naomi insisted the girls go back to their families. Orpah decided to go and said goodbye, but not Ruth. Ruth told Naomi she couldn't leave her. Ruth wanted to go where Naomi went. She wanted Naomi's people to be her people. And best of all, Ruth wanted Naomi's God to be her God. Naomi realized that Ruth had made up her mind to go with her, so she stopped trying to make her stay in Moab. The 2 women went on their way to Naomi's hometown. When they arrived, it was time for the harvest, and all of the fields were full of wheat. Naomi and Ruth needed food, so one day Ruth decided to walk behind the farmers in their fields and pick up any of the grain they dropped. The field she went to work in belonged to a man named Boaz. Boaz was Naomi's relative and saw Ruth working. He thought about how kind she was to help Naomi. Boaz wanted to take care of Ruth, so he told his workers to let extra grain fall to the ground for Ruth to have. Boaz fell in love with Ruth, and they were eventually married. Naomi was so happy that God had given her a new family to love. It wasn't long before God gave Boaz and Ruth a baby boy named Obed. There's a promise in Psalm 46:1 that says, "God is our protection and source of strength. He is always ready to help us in times of trouble." God kept this promise and was with Naomi and Ruth, giving them protection and the strength they needed.